He's the grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light. How are you, Israelites, this morning? I pray you are well. I pray you are satisfied. I pray you are content. I am alive. I am tranquil. I am serene and calm. Today, we're going to talk about mighty men. Since we are the few, the called out from the world, chosen, we are the Israelites, as I call us, the elite among the house of Israel. Every tribe has an elite class. We all know this. Well, that's you. That's why you're the elect. You see? You were elected to stand out, to be called on high, and to be risen up. And we're going to read about that today. What happens when the Most High rises you and makes you mighty, what you're capable of, so that you understand who you are and build your confidence in I am today. 2 Samuel chapter 23. The book of 2 Samuel chapter 23 is where we're going to be reading from. Okay, starting at verse 1. Now these be the last words of Dawadah, the son of Yisai, said, and the man who was raised up on high. Y'all hear this? Dawadah, the man who was raised up on high, the anointed Christ, the anointed of the El of Yaakobah, and the sweet psalmist of Israel. He said, the spirit of Abiyah spake by me. Come on, King Dawadah. The spirit of Abiyah spake by me, and his word was, where Israel? In my tongue. So now, how does the spirit of Abiyah speak to the world? Through an anointed, raised up on high, elect individual. That's how he does it, as it is written. Verse 3, the El of Yisrael said, the rock of Yisrael spake to me. He that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of El. You hear this? You hear this? He said, he spake to me. The rock. Who was the rock of Israel? Christ was that rock, it is written. So the rock spake to me. He that ruleth over men must be just. If you're going to rule and sit on a throne, you must be just, fair, honest, upright, ruling in the fear of El. 4, and he shall be as the light of the morning when the sun rises, even a morning without clouds, as the tender grass springing out of the earth by clear shining after rain. A beautiful morning. When that man walks in the room, he's like a beautiful morning without clouds, like you're walking down Easy Street. Easy Street, where the sun's always shining, not a cloud in the sky. All right. 5. Although my house be not so with El, yet he hath made with me an everlasting covenant. So, like the grandson, or just like you Israelites, your families were accounted as nothing in the world with the Most High. You didn't even know that you were even valuable to him at all. But he made an everlasting covenant, see, with you, ordered in all things, and sure, trustworthy. For this is all my salvation and all my desire, although he make it not to grow. But the sons of Belial, the sinners, shall be all of them as thorns thrust away, tares gathered up and threw into the fire, see? Because they cannot be taken with hands. Can't grab thorns with hands, man. You grab a thorn with your hand, how that shit feel? Terrible. That's how it feels when you try to grab hold of one of them, see? But the man that shall touch them, look, must be fenced, covered with iron. He must have like a suit on like a knight. And the staff of a spear. And they shall be utterly burned with fire in the same place. Gotta poke that nigga with a stick to be able to touch it. You see? Remember when they took the crown of thorns and put it on Yahushua's head, and they took sticks and pressed it down? See? Staff of a spear, in other words. See? And they shall be utterly burned with fire in the same place. You hear that? Damn! These be the names. All right, Israelites, listen up. Now, he's already told you, if you be just and you live your life in the fear of Abba Yah, then you will be given an everlasting covenant, and Abba will make his abode with you and put his spirit into you and speak through you, as David said. You see? So if the spirit of Abba Yah was speaking through David, then the psalms that he wrote, the songs, in other words, that he wrote, Abba Yah wrote them. The things that he said, Abba Yah said it. See, that's what he's telling you. These be the names of the mighty men whom Dawadah had. The Tachmonite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. So a Tachmonite. The same was Adino, the Eznite. So his name was Adino, a Tachmonite, you see. He was chief among the captains. He's like a general. Listen to this, y'all. He lift up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time. Remember I told y'all, I said there are Saiyans and then there are Super Saiyans. There are Israelites and then there are Israelites. Okay? Elites. 800 men he slew at one time. Y'all hear that? 800 at one time. Continuing. And after him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo, the Ahohite, one of the 3 mighty men with Dawadah, when they defied the Philistines that were there gathered together to battle, and the men of Yisrael were gone away. So there was Eleazar, Dawadah, and one other man that was in a group that had to fight off the Philistines when all the rest of the Israelites fled. You see? Let's see what he did. He arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand clave unto the sword. You know how you get a cramp and your hand just be stuck? That's how his hand was around that sword. It was stuck to the sword. His hand was one with the sword. And Abba Yah wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil. When the Israelites got back, they didn't have to fight. They just came back to gather all the goods that was left. 11. And after him was Shammah, the son of Agi, the Hararite, and the Philistines were gathered together into a troop. where was a piece of ground full of lentils. And the people fled from the Philistines. You see, they all ran. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it and slew the Philistines. Look at this here. Come on. And Abiyah wrought a great victory. And 3 of the 30 chief went down and came to Dawadah in the harvest time unto the cave of Adullam. Cave of Adullam. There's a place right here in the city I'm in right now. It's called the Cave of Adullam, where a beautiful soul, a brother, older gentleman, big old white beard, Hebrew man, teaches the younger Hebrew brothers how to learn martial arts, how to defend themselves, hand-to-hand combat. He's a black belt and all kind of other stuff, and he teaches the young Hebrew boys, and he also teaches them, while he's teaching them this self-defense, he teaches them spiritual warfare as well. The spiritual applications of becoming a man, how to rule as a man, how to defend your home, be strong, have confidence. That's what he teaches at the Cave of Adullam, he calls it. That's the name of the school. So obviously this is where he got it. And the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And Dawadah was then in an hold. And the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. Y'all hear this? So Bethlehem is our city. Well, the Philistines got in there and was in a garrison inside the city. And Dawadah was in a hold, so hiding out somewhere. And Dawadah longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." And the 3 mighty men brake through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem. So they broke through the army of the Philistines. 3 men did this. That was by the gate, and took it and brought it to Dawadah. They got the water and then brought it. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto Abiyah. You see? And he said, "Be it far from me, O Abba, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives, that sacrificed their lives for me?" Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mighty men. And Abishai, the brother of Yaab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief among 3, and he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them, and had the name among 3. Was he not most honorable of 3? Therefore he was their captain. Howbeit he attained not unto the first 3. And Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. He went down also and slew a lion in the midst of a pit in time of snow. So this dude went down into a pit, and there was a lion down in there, and he killed it during winter when it was snow everywhere. You see this? What else he do? 21. And he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man, which means a big, strong, powerful looking nigga. And the Egyptian had a spear in his hand. Y'all hear this? Benaiah was fighting an Egyptian, a big, strong Egyptian who had a spear. But he went down to him with a staff. So he went to the man with a staff. The other guy had a spear. And he plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand and slew him with his own spear. Good gracious. Come on, Israelites. These things did Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, and had the name among 3 mighty men. He was more honorable than the 30, but he attained not to the first 3. And Dawadah set him over his guard. Asahel, the brother of Yaab, was one of the 30. Elhanan, the son of Dodo of Bethlehem. Shema, the Harodite. Elikah, the Harodite. Helez, the Paltite. Ira, the son of Ekesh, the Tekoite, Abirzer, the Anethothite, Mebunai, the Hushathite, Zalmon, the Ahohite, Maharai, the Netophathite, Heleb, the son of Ba'anah, and Netophathite, Itai, the son of Ribai, out of Gibeah, of the children of Ben-Yahamin, Benaiah, the Piratonite, Hidai, of the brooks of Gaash, Al-Bealbon, the Albertite, Azmaveth, the Barhumite, Eliaba, the Shaalbonite, of the sons of Yashin, Yanathan, Shema, the Hararite, Ahiam, the son of Sharar, the Hararite, Eliphalet, the son of Ahashbai, the son of the Maakathite, Eliam, the son of Ahitophel, the Gilonite, Hezrai, the Carmelite, Paarai, the Arbite, Igal, the son of Nathan, of Zobah, Bani, the Gadite, Zelek, the Ammonite, Nahari, the Berothite, armor bearer to Yaab, the son of Zeruiah, Ira, an Ithrite, Gareb, an Ithrite. And look who we got here. Uriah, the Hittite. 37 in all. Y'all see that? So, what do we see here, Israel? What is Abba telling you about the army that you're a part of? Your king, being Yahusha, sitting in the seat of Dawadah, see, the anointed, chosen, set up on high. There's no difference here, you see. Sits as the king. And then he has 3 mighty ones under him. Now let's see. There's Yahusha, and then there's Peter, James, and John. Look at this here! It's no different. It is no different. Got 3 mighty men, he says. Niggas is slaying 800 niggas with a spear. Do you know how strong your grip strength, your forearms, your wrists, your shoulders, your core strength to wield a spear in such a way that you slay 800 people with it without being touched yourself? The conditioning your body must be in, the blessing Abba has placed upon you. Well, that's what Abba's saying about you and the army that you're in. You see? That's what he's saying. I mean, is it not? So there's 3 mighty men, and under them there's another group of mighty men under them that are just a little bit not as powerful, in other words. But 300 men in one battle, or slaying a lion in the middle of a snowy pit, or killing a dude that has a spear and you don't have nothing but a staff, and you pluck his spear out of his hand and kill him with it, and he's a strong, good warrior, then you're mighty. And that's why the Bible says, Dawadah's mighty men, you see? And in the midst of this group of men, you see many Israelites, but you also see a few Gentiles sparked in there, don't you? Didn't it say one of them was an Ammonite? Ammon, the child of Lot, one of the enemies of Israel? That's what it says. Didn't it say there was one named a Hittite, which was Canaan, a Canaanite, which would be considered a dog? Yep, that's what it says. So that means that in the midst of Israel, there are a couple of Gentiles who will put you in the dirt as well. In a spiritual manner is what I mean, because we're spiritual warriors. You see? Mighty on the battlefield, exceptional on the battlefield, matter of fact. So exceptional that we stand out and we're called mighty. That's the Israelites that I'm talking to. That's why I call you that. You see, I don't lie about anything. It's written right there in the word anyway. I'm just bringing it out so you can see it. Look at the word Israelite. Now take Israel off. What do you see? Do you see the word elite? Well, then I wasn't lying to you then, was I? All right then. So in this camp, in this ark, there are mighty warriors in here and mighty warriors only. You hear that? So if you are in this ark, then what are you? Do you lack anything today? Is a nigga coming down with a spear going to give you any type of fright, even if you just have a staff in your hand? Is a lion growling around outside going to give you any fear? When it says the righteous are just as bold as the lion is? Now, did David kill a lion? Alrighty then. When Daniel went down to the lion's den, did he have dominion over those lions, or did they attack him and rip him to shreds? What happened? Alrighty then. You see what I mean? We're different. We're actually peculiar. Do you know that? Abba says we are peculiar. Now, I want you to understand this word so that you don't get confused when people treat you like you're peculiar. You understand what I'm saying to you? People are going to treat you as if you're peculiar, and then you're going to feel sad about that. You're going to get down or take it personal when you don't understand it. But Abba says you're peculiar. So what does peculiar mean? It means strange or odd, unusual. What are some synonyms of peculiar? Odd, funny, curious, bizarre, weird, uncanny, unexpected, unfamiliar, abnormal, atypical, different, out of the ordinary, exceptional, rare, extraordinary, remarkable, puzzling, mystifying, mysterious, perplexing, baffling, uncommon, irregular, freakish, suspicious, dubious, questionable, eerie, unnatural, creepy, spooky, fishy, bizarre, backwardness, eccentric, unconventional, offbeat, quirky, outlandish, zany, wacky, kooky, screwy, kinky, cranky, wacko, oddball, dilly. Another definition of peculiar: particular, special. Synonyms: distinguished, individual, identifiable, unmistakable, remarkable, notable, essential, unique. Come on. You see that? Now, all of those things you should have no questions or cobwebs or anything up in there about what peculiar is. Now, did Abba say that you were peculiar? Well, let's see if he did. The book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 9 says, "But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of his darkness into his" what? Marvelous light. Welcome to the school of marvelous light. What my brother say? We are a royal priesthood. You see how we just doing what Abba told us to do. I got a brother right now. His page is named Royal Priesthood. He speaks the same truth I speak. He just speaks it in his own individual, quirky, unique, peculiar, special, out of the ordinary way. Just like I speak the truth in an out of the ordinary, special, distinct, enigmatic way. Y'all see that? Isn't it beautiful when you just know the truth? I mean, isn't it? I mean, I know I ain't the only one that feel that way. It's just the truth. When you know the truth, it takes all of the blinders, all of the feelings you used to have. You used to be all down about stuff when you didn't understand. Why do people just treat me so different? I had a Freudian slip there. I said, why do people treat me so different and so strange? Because you're peculiar. That's why. I don't get it. Why am I just the outcast, the black sheep? Probably because you're peculiar out of the bunch. See how it just comes to fruition? The truth, there's nothing you can do about it. It just comes to the surface. Deuteronomy 7:6 also says that, "For thou art a holy people, set apart people, unto Abba Yah your El, and Abba Yah your El hath chosen thee to be a special people." There's that word special. Special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So here we see, children of Israel, that Abba Yah, the God of all creation, has chosen the children of Israel to be a special, chosen people, above all people, special people to God, that are a peculiar, enigmatic, eccentric people. They're different than other people. I mean, when some music comes on, the Israelite, he jumps up and he does some out of the ordinary stuff. He does some uncanny moves when he dances. He does some stuff that makes him stand out. You see, he makes him peculiar among the bunch. You see how that's working? You get out on any field to play any sports, and the Israelite is peculiar. He's doing some stuff that's a little bit different than the other people there. I mean, he's standing out. You see what I'm trying to tell y'all? Newsflash, everybody. Newsflash. What does Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2 say? It says, "For you are a holy people." Out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, this is 3. I gave you Peter. I gave you Deuteronomy 7:6. Now I'm giving you Deuteronomy 14:2. Why? Because line upon line, here a little, there a little, shall the truth be made manifest to you. See? "For you are a holy people unto Abba Yah your El, and Abba Yah hath chosen thee to be a peculiar," there it is again, sheesh, "to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the face of this earth." You see? And that's why he said things like, you shouldn't eat any abominable thing, because you're set apart. See that there? Other people don't care. Other nations that are below you, they don't give a damn. They do whatever the hell they want to do, and that's why they're below you. Isn't it obvious? You do high things because you're a high people, as we started this conversation off saying. An anointed people. That's what chosen means. Elect. See? So y'all chew on that. The fact that you great. The fact that you special and peculiar and called out from the world to be something extremely different from all the other common things that you see. You see? So be blessed today in this truth. Israel.